This week from Al-Musawat Radio. Al-Musawat Radio is the right place to know everything. Welcome to all of you, dear listeners. This is the weekly news coverage coming your way from Al-Musawat radio station from the beating heart of Baghdad. And we'd like to announce that we will soon be broadcasting on the frequency 101.8. Stay tuned. As usual, the beginning goes with the latest developments concerning political, economic, and public service cases and files. The outgoing Prime Minister Mustafa al-Kadhimi's corruption opens the door into more files that could drag parliamentary parties along. The Parliamentary Finance Committee refers the tax funds embezzlement case to the judiciary. The Supreme Federal Court halted the disbursement of 70 billion dinars, which were devoted for the Prime Minister's office. Ministry of Finance takes office and stresses the importance of cooperation with the Parliament. The first graduates and college degree holders demonstrated in front of the Federal Public Service Council and Ministry of Finance headquarters, demanding the launch of the recruitment to permanent staff forms. Deputy Head of the Human Rights Strategic Center, lawyer Hazim Rodaini, warned of the seriousness of the deteriorated economic situation in Iraq, which largely and directly contributed to the devastation of Iraqi families through the unprecedented rising divorce rates across the country. Iraq is daily exposed to an enormous amount of natural and industrial disasters, including floodings, earthquakes, and industrial and environmental pollutants that left many of citizens dead and still threatens their environmental and human security due to the lack of disaster early warning systems. Appropriate experts expect a winter season of poor rains in Iraq amid lack of strategic plans to limit the effects of the crisis in the country. Directorate General of Traffic attributed the traffic jams, which the capital Baghdad daily witnesses, to more than 10 reasons, including non-compliance with the law, frequent violations, the massive numbers of vehicles as compared to few and narrow streets, in a time when some of Baghdad's roads saw traffic jams, particularly at El-Dilal Square of Al-Azamiyya district and at Al-Tabul checkpoint. Eyewitnesses stated that a vital crossroad in the middle of Al-Nasiriyah city, central Dhikar province, was cut off with burning tires. Peasant associations of Dhikar province confirmed that the agricultural plan of the upcoming planting season is the lowest in the history of the province. A local official of Diyala province stated that the citizens has been complaining for many years of the negligence of Al-Sindiya floating bridge project, which links Diyala province with Salahuddin province. Iraqi Ministry of Electricity prepares for the upcoming winter season with contingency plan and demands for drones. Baghdad Operation Command announced the reopening of a road which was blocked for 16 years in Al-Arasat neighborhood, central the capital Baghdad. The national campaign for saving southern Dhiqar marshlands from complete dry-up launched in the province of Dhiqar. Ministry of Education announced that Baghdad's 6th intermediate students who couldn't attend their examinations are exclusively allowed to retake the examination for only 3 subjects. Ministry of Education announced the launch of a literacy centers registration campaign of round 11th for the current school year within the pre-mentioned programs across Baghdad and all other provinces. A document issued by Ministry of Education revealed the designation of a new director for Diyala Education Directorate. The Iraqi Ministry of Health revealed the details of its educational and awareness-raising campaign regarding the early detection of breast cancer. The Ministry of Health announced the weekly situation of the corona pandemic, recording 674 new cases of coronavirus, 590 recoveries, and only 1 death case, whilst the number of people who received the anti-corona vaccine during the past week amounted to 31,713 people. The Iraqi Meteorological Organization and Seismology confirmed that Iraq has the ability to use the cloud seeding technology whilst determining the reasons of continuing rising temperatures in the country, whilst weather forecasters stated that chances of precipitation would increase within the upcoming days. A festival for the promotion of delivery food was held in the capital Baghdad, along with the organizing of a bazaar, during which Baghdadis attended the event. Social, educational, and health experts warned of uncontrolled and non-rational use of smartphones by children due to the social, psychological, and health risks it would cause them. Directorate General of Traffic announced the registration of more than 4,800 traffic accidents since the beginning of this year, noting that the main cause is excessive speeding. Civil Defense Directorate announced the registration of 34 fire incidents across 6 provinces in Iraq within 1 day, as the fire suppression map demonstrated. The Iraqi Commission of Integrity announced the seizure of a number of officials and employees caught in the act of a bribery instance across 5 Iraqi provinces. Baghdad Rescue Police Directorate announced that its detachments succeeded to free 2 female abductees and arrest one of the abductors in Al-Husseiniya district, northern Baghdad. A security source reported 2 persons killed in an armed attack by unknown assailants in the capital Baghdad. A security source reported an unidentified object found inside an Iraqi counter-terrorism service affiliate's house in the capital Baghdad. A bloody conflict erupted over a Facebook comment, killing 3 cousins in the capital Baghdad. Diyala Community Police returned 2 young girls to their families after they ran away from home due to domestic violence. A security source of Diyala province reported 6 civilians injured during a multi-vehicle collision accident eastern the city of Baqouba. A security source of Diyala province reported 2 civilians killed during 2 separate incidents across the province. A security source of Diyala province reported a child killed after being electrocuted in the outskirts of Al-Khals district, northeastern the city of Baqouba. A security source reported 2 children killed and another one injured by the detonation of war remnants in Kirkuk province. An official security source reported a young man committed suicide at home in the city of Mosul. A female child's arm was bit by a bear in Al Sulaymaniya Zoo. Civil Defense Corps rushed to save a child who got one of his hands stuck in an electric meat grinder in the district of Al-Hay of Wasat province. Criminal courts in both Dhikar and Al-Najaf provinces issued execution and life imprisonment sentences against convicts who committed crimes which threaten the society. A security source of Dhikar province reported a school student was injured on his way back home from school by a bullet during the dispersion of a demonstration in the province. A security source of Dhikar province reported a security officer died affected by his injuries as an affiliate shot him during the morning count at the Rescue Police Directorate headquarters in the province. A security source of Dhikar province reported 2 persons killed and injured by an armed attack eastern the province. A security source of Dhikar province reported another inmate died inside a Nasriya central jail, southwestern the province. A security source of Dhikar province reported armed clashes, of which the source described as fierce, erupted between security forces and agricultural landholders western the city of Al-Nasriya, central the province. Protests continue in Iran as the Iranian regime suppresses, abuses power and disrupts access to internet. Taliban fired in the air to disperse women who staged a rally in support of ongoing protests in Iran. A shocking incident that shocked the Egyptian public opinion as a teacher hit a female child with a stick on the head for making a spelling mistake and caused her brain hemorrhage and skull fracture, leaving her dead, affected by her injuries. The judicial decision recently made, which stipulates an Arab woman of the Palestinian city of Al-Lid shall enter a shelter for battered women for receiving death threats, which was annulled later following the acceptance of the threatened woman's request not to be imposed to move into a shelter, has particularly outraged the Arab institutions that combat violence against women. Algerian media revealed the details of a heinous crime, as the victim is a young woman whose neighbor burned her to death. Chief Executive Officer of FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 Nasser Al-Khater, which is to kick off on November 20th, announced that there will be areas set up for drunk supporters, and the LGBTQ+ community are all welcome. The United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres said that the investing in girls is investing in our common future, calling for the redoubling of the efforts to make sure girls everywhere are healthy, educated, and safe. A new United Nations report showed that women's and children's health has suffered globally as the converge of the conflicts impacts the COVID-19 pandemic and climate change left devastating effects on prospects for children, young people, and women. A report of the European Union Fundamental Rights Agency showed that 1/3 of the women in the European Union countries were subjected to physical or sexual violence. A bunch of world organizations and entities, including the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations (FAO), International Fund for Agricultural Development (IFAD), the United Nations World Food Programme (WFP), and the United Nations Women Entity launched the Accelerating Programme towards Rural Women's Economic Empowerment Project in Zanzibar. The World Health Organization launched a new campaign to shed the light on the lived experience of people affected by cancer. Five years on, the hashtag #MeToo movement has succeeded to expand the areas of public discussions over violations, particularly violations against women. The matter which increased the appearance of local hashtags and protests, according to observers. Brazilian local media sources reported that Brazilian court sentenced a former coach of Brazil's national gymnastics team to 109 years in prison for raping 4 female athletes, including at least 1 minor. And finally, oil prices rise minimizes the previous session's losses. Here we come for the end of this weekly news coverage. It was presented with all the love in the world from Al-Musawat radio station. Join us next week. Until then, accept the best regards from your host right here behind the mic, النجار, and from the editor, اسراء, الوهاب, and from the producer right there behind the mixer, Ahmed Salah. Have a nice day. Goodbye.